What's up, everybody? Today is Friday, October 10th. I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the stats this week. These are the last 7 days: Conejo Valley, SIMI Valley, and Moorpark. And here we go. Coming soon, we have six new listings: 65, price change 104, back on market 14, active under contract 41, pending 32, closed 51, expired 9, canceled 20, hold 7, and withdrawn 4. All right, so the numbers that we like to compare the most usually are the new listings at 65 to the active under contract at 41. Now remember, the active under contract, these are the sellers that have just accepted an offer from a buyer in the last 7 days, and that buyer is in their investigation phase in that transaction. Okay, so we have a difference of 24. New listings are at 65 active under contract. That's 24 more properties have come on the market than have gone off. But I've been noticing a trend, and I didn't say anything about it the last couple weeks because I wanted to see if it was continued. But let's take a look down here at the canceled listings. Obviously, canceled means the seller canceled. That home is no longer on the market. So if we have a difference of 24 new properties coming on the market versus what went under contract, and then we have 20 properties come off the market, that's only a difference of four. Okay, now check this out. We have four more properties that are withdrawn. Withdrawn means they're basically in the process of going to cancel, which means we had the same amount of properties come on the market as go into escrow and come off the market, which makes it a wash. So we literally, even though these two numbers, the new listings at 65 and the active under contract at 41 are different by 24, we literally had the same number of properties come on the market as we had come off the market. Okay. So, and if you want to go even more detailed, we have coming soon is six. These are properties that are about to come on the market. They have it within the next 21 days. And then we had seven go on hold. So that's a difference of one. All right, so now let's take a look at where the new inventory came from, to the new 65 homes. Let me set the screen up for everybody. All right, here we go. We had, was that six or seven in Agora? We have a bunch in Moorpark, Moorpark with some good new opportunities. Newberry Park with four, Oak Park with two, Simi, always a great value. Simi has a bunch of new inventory. Look at that. A lot of it's in Simi. The vast majority came from Simi. Thousand Oaks with like probably that's like 12 or 14, and then Westlake Village with four. All right. So we see that Simi had the most. Moorpark, a high percentage there. Okay. Now I want to show everybody the price changes. Let me organize the screen for price changes. Excuse me. All right. So now price changes. The red arrows mean reduction. All right. Look at all the red arrows. So right now we are seeing the vast, vast, vast majority of people changing their price in reduction. All right. In reduction. All right. Let me go back to the home screen. And then one more I wanted to look at for everybody was let's see where those canceled listings came from. So we had one cancel in Agora. We had one in Moorpark. Newberry Park had three. Simi had three, six, seven. TO had five. And then Westlake Village with three. All right. So this gives us a better look at what's going on in the market. All right. Mortgage rates, mostly flat. They're up 0.3. The 30-year fix is at 6.38 from last week. It's up 0.3 total. It's up 0.02 today. Not much news in interest rates, which is good because they're not at a bad rate. 15-year fix is at 5.88%. 30-year jumbo is at 6.29%. The 7 and 6 SOFR ARM is at 5.85%. The 30-year FHA is at 6.05%. The 30-year VA is at 6.07%. All right, so not bad for rates. So what am I seeing? What am I getting at when I see these stats that are coming out like this, where we have the new listings are above the amount of properties going into escrow. However, I've been noticing the canceled listings are growing. So now we have the canceled listings and the withdrawn totaling about the same. And so what I would consider right now in the last couple of weeks is we are kind of entering a more balanced market. So with rates not being above 7, but still in the sixes, what does that mean for sellers and buyers? In my mind, what that means is if you're a seller and you're really serious about getting sold, you need to price yourself in the top 10% of your competitors. And what I mean by the top 10% is like, look at who's priced the lowest, who's comparable to you, and be in that 10% of those prices. Within 10%, you have to be one of the top two properties in price to get sold quickly right now. All right, if you're a buyer and you see what's going on, you see that there are other buyers out there. There are properties in reduction. There are sellers that really want to get sold. So get out there and start writing offers. Okay, the time is now. Because if this trend continues and we start to see the more properties coming off the market than going on the market, what does that mean? It means it's going to start leaning towards a seller's market. Now, I don't know if that's what's going to happen. All I've noticed over the last few weeks is that the canceled listings are starting to grow. And my theory on what's been happening is that we really have two different markets of sellers out there. We have sellers that are trying to get a pie in the sky number, and we have the realistic sellers that are down here in the top 10% of price. These are the sellers that are getting sold. These are the sellers that are getting sick of keeping their house super clean and having showings and open houses and not getting any offers. So if you want to get sold, get yourself in the top 10% of price. Buyers, if you want to get a house, this is a great time because there are plenty of sellers. You see them reducing. That means they're interested in selling, guys. There are plenty of sellers out there ready to make a deal. And just because a house has just come out and hasn't reduced does not mean that that seller is not willing to make a deal. So go ahead and get out there and get your offer out. And what's the first thing that you have to do? You have to get your pre-approval letter, buyers. You have to call your lender and get your pre-approval letter. You have to submit some documentation. It takes a little bit of work, but it's worth it because it's going to tell you exactly what your loan amount's going to be, excuse me, what your monthly payment's going to be. And then if you're out shopping for homes and you have that pre-approval letter and you find the home that you love, guess what you're ready to do? You're ready to make an offer. Because if you find that house that you love and you do not have that pre-approval letter and another buyer does, it's going to take you a couple days to get that pre-approval letter. And guess what's going to happen? That other buyer is going to come in with their pre-approval letter and swoop in and get that house. All right. So if you have any questions on how to accomplish any of this, I would love to be the person to help you. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. My name is Josh Brenner. I'm with Compass right here in Westlake Village, California. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like information about real estate, please like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, everybody, to get some exercise today. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.